Just for clarification, on day one of using the CharaChorder, you're going to have to learn character entry first. The reason why is you need to familiarize yourself with where the characters are on the switches. But after that, you're going to ask yourself, all right, should I focus on the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks on learning to be proficient with character entry and then learn how to chord? Or should I do the opposite? And there's pros and cons for both of them, so let's talk about them. All right, let's start with the first one, which is learning character entry first. The argument for this is that when you get proficient at character entry, transitioning to chording won't be as bad because you already know where the locations of the letters on the switches are. Another pro for doing this is that you're going to get results pretty quickly and you're going to get motivated. It's kind of like people like going on a diet, when they lose weight pretty quickly and they're going to say, all right, this is awesome, we're going to keep going. It's the same thing with practicing the CharaChorder this way. Now, the potential drawback for doing this is that you might demotivate yourself to learn how to chord and increase your chords in your chord library. Because you're already good at you can already input letters. Why bother learning chords, right? I'm not saying that you should not take this route because the newbie gains at the very beginning is actually really motivating. But you should also be aware, if you do take this route, you might run the risk of not becoming motivated to increase your chords in your chord library. Route number 2, learn a chord from the get-go. And there are actually 2 arguments for doing this. The first one is that you get to increase the number of chords that you have under your belt from the very beginning. Number 2, you're training with specificity. If you want to get good at chording, which is the main feature of the CharaChorder, then practice chording. The con for doing this is that it's actually pretty difficult to do this because you don't have the finger dexterity yet to execute the chords. This is the route that I took, and I'm pretty proud of the about 1900 chords that I have under my belt, but it was not a smooth sail to get to this point. But there's a third approach that I want to share, so let me share it to you. Route number 3, interleaving. And I really wish I did this when I first started because I would probably be a way better CharaChorder user than I am now. Theoretically, the reason why I'm recommending this is because of the pretty compelling scientific literature out there. With interleaving, what you're going to do is you're going to alternate between those 2 subskills. So for example, for one day, if you have just 1 hour in a day, you're going to practice Chentry for 30 minutes and then chording for 30 minutes, and you do that every day. The other structure would be you're going to practice for a whole hour doing Chentry for one day, and then for the following day you're going to do chording, and you're going to alternate between those 2 throughout the week. The con for taking this route is that your progress at the beginning is going to be pretty slow for obvious reasons. But let's say 2-3 months later, you're going to be a way better CharaChorder user because from what I understand, you have the sub skills, Chentry and then chording. You're going to find, if you practice both at the same time, you're going to find similarities, differences, and patterns in both those 2 subskills. So your practice is going to be more meaningful. And if it's more meaningful, you're going to tend to want to practice more, and the skill is going to stick. This has been applied in sports. It's been applied in academics. And, it sounds pretty convincing. And it's actually how I practice now. I mean, granted, I don't practice, 2-3 hours a day anymore. I just give myself about, 20 minutes for chording, 20 minutes for Chentry, and that's about it. That's all I do. But this is how I practice now. So yeah, give it a shot. Let me know if you have any questions. That's all I have for you. And I'll see you next time.